I think that Liz's brand is peaceful heart, fierce warrior. And that's the way she leads. She's calm and kind, gracious and methodical, and a little bit on the quiet side, but you know immediately that she's an unrelenting, passionate warrior and an advocate.
Tacoma Community House is a very unusual organization in this part of the country, but this is the only organization between Seattle and Portland that provides services for immigrant and refugee families. And immigrant and refugee status are really different in terms of what kind of benefits you get. And the kind of thing that they're doing is really important to help these people become part of the community and learn the skills they need to be successful.
I have known Liz for about 20 years and have greatly admired her all that time. First for her leadership role in the Department of Social and Health Services, and then more recently as the Executive Director of Tacoma Community House. Liz has done so much in terms of leadership roles through the years. She is someone who's not only accomplished a great deal, but has contributed a great deal to this community.
My name is Liz Dunbar, and I recently retired as the Executive Director of Tacoma Community House. I was the Executive Director for almost 10 years. Tacoma Community House is a very long-standing organization in this community. It's been around for 109 years. Was started as a settlement house for new immigrants in the Hilltop area of Tacoma. We've stayed in that neighborhood ever since, so been in the same location on our second building and soon to be third building for the operation of the programs. Over the years, the organization has done a lot of different services, but it's certainly for the last 40-some years has focused really on serving immigrants and refugees. So annually, for the last several years, the community house has served about 3,500 people a year. We've had some wonderful stories with alumni of TCH, people who are in their 70s, 80s, and 90s, who tell stories about coming here for kindergarten and Girl Scout and Boy Scout troop meetings and all kinds of things. So we know we've touched the lives of lots of people in this community.
Well, Liz Dunbar reminds me of one of my favorite leadership quotes, which is, of a good leader, when their work is done, their aim fulfilled, the people will say, we did this ourselves. And I would add to that quote specifically about Liz, and we did it always with an eye on equity and justice. There's Liz, and always highly regarded as human, as effective, as forceful without being mean about it. There she is, and it's been a pleasure to be affiliated with that in the ways I have been, and to watch her help this community grow and be more and more successful every time she touched it.
Liz and I worked together at what we call DSHS. I was the secretary of DSHS, and she was one of the assistant secretaries. But I've known Liz for over 40 years, and Liz and I met at the Tacoma Community House 40 years ago. And our lives have interchanged over the 40 years in different capacities. When she worked for one agency, I worked for another agency, and then we both came together.
So my name is Beth Boggs, and I am the Executive Director of the American Leadership Forum of Tacoma-Pierce County. I know that when she walks into a room, I certainly stand up a little bit taller, and I think other people do too. She has a significant sphere of influence in this community and has for 25 years, 30 years, probably even more. I have most intensely relied on her through our friendship through Fab 5. There's a group of 5 women CEOs that we have been meeting together once a month for about 10 years. And I have relied on Liz's advice and her counsel. She has been incredibly helpful in times where I just probably couldn't find my way past an issue.
Professionally, I've known Liz since 2009. If you look in some dictionary or somewhere for a leader, Liz's picture is going to be there. I admire her so much because she is very patient. She is just able to see big picture for everybody involved. I mean, she is just so good at wrapping her arms around an issue and everyone, patiently waiting and directing people towards where the outcome needs to be. She does not carry a big stick at all.
Some of the key pieces are being willing to take risks. As a leader, you have to be willing to try new things, to encourage people to think differently and act differently, collaborate with the team, and really serve in many ways more as a coach than a boss. Encourage them, give them opportunities, hold them to high standards and high expectations, but really encourage them and give them opportunities and give them room to try and risk themselves.